In 2011, LeBron James was supposed to take over the NBA. He had just joined forces with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh in Miami, forming the most feared super team in the league.
Wade from behind takes it away. Covers. Oh, James! Durant. Oh, Wade, what a play! 5 years as Bosh flies in and slams it home. What a play by Bosh!
The Heat were the villains, the inevitable champions. But then came a quiet, humble 7-footer from Germany who had other plans.
8 seconds. Dirk against Randall. Let's get out of here. Dirk with the shot. And with 2.1.
Dirk Nowitzki, with no second superstar, no flashy dunks, and no hype, led the Dallas Mavericks on one of the most legendary playoff runs in NBA history. And in the process, he might have stopped LeBron from being the undisputed GOAT. Going into the 2011 NBA Finals, the Heat were heavy favorites. LeBron, Wade, and Bosh had cruised through the playoffs, dismantling every team in their path. They had just taken down the MVP Derrick Rose and the Bulls in 5 games. Meanwhile, the Mavericks were seen as underdogs. Dirk was a great player, sure, but could he really take down a team that was built to dominate the league for years? The Mavericks had been doubted all season. They had an aging roster, with veterans like Jason Kidd, Jason Terry, and Shawn Marion. But what they had was chemistry, a deep bench, and a leader in Dirk who was playing the best basketball of his life. He had already torched the Lakers, sweeping the defending champions in the second round, and eliminated the Young Thunder in the conference finals. But the Miami Heat, that was a different beast. Game 1 went exactly how most people expected. The Heat were too fast, too athletic, too talented. LeBron and Wade took turns bullying the Mavericks, hitting big shots and making highlight reel plays. Miami won the game 92-84, and it looked like the series was going to be over quickly. But Dirk had seen enough. He wasn't going down without a fight. Game 2 started off just like Game 1. Miami controlled the pace, and with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, they led by 15 points. The Heat were celebrating, thinking they had this one in the bag. Wade hit a 3 and held his pose right in front of the Dallas' bench, practically taunting them. And that was the moment something changed. Dirk snapped. He led the Mavericks on a furious comeback, scoring bucket after bucket. Jason Terry and Shawn Marion locked in on defense, forcing Miami into tough shots. With just seconds left, Dirk made the game-winning layup, all with his injured left hand, and the Mavericks stunned Miami, winning 95-93. Suddenly, this wasn't going to be an easy finals for the Heat. Game 3 was another nail-biter, but this time, Miami managed to hold on. Dirk was once again dominant, putting up 34 points and trying to will the Mavericks to another win. With under 40 seconds left, he hit a clutch shot to bring Dallas within 1. But on the next possession, Chris Bosh hit a dagger jumper to give Miami the lead. Dirk had a chance to tie the game in the final seconds, but his fadeaway rimmed out. The Heat escaped with an 88-86 win, taking a 2-1 series lead. At this point, the pressure was on. Dirk had been carrying the Mavericks, but he needed more help. Meanwhile, Miami looked like they had finally figured things out. The big 3 were rolling, and LeBron was making an impact everywhere, except in the fourth quarter where he was oddly passive. But the real turning point was about to come. Before Game 4, something happened that added even more fuel to Dirk's fire. He was sick. Like, really sick. Fever, congestion, the whole deal. But instead of showing sympathy, Wade and LeBron decided to mock him.
Oh, did y'all hear me cough? Think I'm sick.
Before the game, cameras caught them fake coughing, pretending to be sick, clearly making fun of Dirk. They thought it was funny, but Dirk, he took it personally. Dirk wasn't about to let 2 superstars clown him and get away with it. He played through the fever, looking exhausted but determined. He dropped 21 points, including a clutch layup in the final moments, to seal an 86-83 win. The series was tied, and Miami was in trouble. As the series went on, something became obvious. LeBron James was struggling. The same LeBron who had dominated the regular season was nowhere to be found. He scored just 8 points in Game 4, the lowest of his playoff career at that point. He wasn't aggressive, he was hesitant. And worst of all, he looked scared of the moment. The Mavericks defense was throwing different looks at him, and he wasn't responding. Dirk, on the other hand, was embracing the pressure. Game 5 was an offensive masterpiece by Dallas. Dirk was great, but it was Jason Terry who stole the show. The Mavericks lit up Miami for a 3-point range, and LeBron, he had another quiet game scoring just 17 points. Dallas took the game 112-103, and suddenly they were one win away from a championship. Miami was desperate. They had to win, but Dirk wasn't about to let that happen. Despite struggling early, he locked in during the second half. The Mavericks' defense suffocated Miami, and LeBron once again looked passive, finishing with just 21 points. Dirk sealed the deal with a clutch jumper in the final minutes, and when the buzzer sounded, Dallas had done it. The Mavericks won their first NBA championship. Dirk immediately ran to the locker room, overwhelmed with emotion. He had done it. Dirk Nowitzki didn't just win a championship, he won it in legendary fashion. He went through Kobe's Lakers, KD and Westbrook's Thunder, and LeBron's super team in Miami. He didn't run away from the grind, he didn't team up with other superstars. He stayed in Dallas and won it the hard way. And for LeBron, the loss haunted him. It was the lowest point of his career. He was the best player in the world. But when it mattered most, he disappeared. If he had won this title, who knows? Maybe he'd have 5, 6, or even 7 rings by now. Maybe he would have cemented himself as the GOAT. But Dirk took that away from him. And for that, NBA fans will always respect him. But Dirk Nowitzki didn't need to be flashy. He didn't need to be loud. He let his game do the talking. And in 2011, he made the impossible. He stopped LeBron James from becoming the undisputed GOAT. So what do you think? If LeBron had won in 2011, would his GOAT case be stronger? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more NBA stories just like this one.